You are required to see a live performance of a play this semester and respond to it in the form of a review of that performance. In chapter 2 of the text, The Audience and Criticism, three problems are identified for the theater critic that should be addressed in a review, and they are understanding, effectiveness, and ultimate worth. Consider shaping your review in response to those three problems. In the opening of this review, you must identify the play and the playwright. And it's important for you to have an understanding of the work of the playwright. When did this playwright write this play? Any information about any inspiration for the play? Um, Prior works by the same playwright, possibly the first production of the play. In the following paragraphs, you must summarize the plot of the play. Summarize it. Do not try to explain the story detail by detail. Summarize the play. And remember, it's important in a review not to give all of the information away. Not important in the summary of Romeo and Juliet, for example, to say that at the end of the play, these two young lovers die. That's a tragedy of the play, and that's something that the spectator, that the audience will experience. Summarize the play. Identify the plot structure. Is it a climactic plot, episodic? By the end of that, somewhere in this summary of the play, you're going to identify the play's theme. It should be clear, it should be obvious, and easily to state in that summary. What your review is going to be responding to is whether or not the production that you see is effectively telling the story. Does the performance tell the story that the playwright wrote? Understanding, clarity. If you state that the production, the performance, certainly presented the story in a way that was clear, entertaining, effective rather, that should be stated. If you say that it is a good performance, then the following paragraphs of the paper should address that. It was effective because. And in doing that, you are going to look at the work of the director, the actors, the designers, the people who designed the set, the people who found or constructed the costumes and the properties, all of these elements of the production contribute to a successful performance. This addresses the effectiveness of the production. Finally, you will, in your closing, address the issue or the question of ultimate worth. Was the production successful and would you recommend it to others? You know, whenever we go to a movie or a theater performance, we become critics. We leave the theater, we leave the movie with an opinion of what we saw. And we have at our disposal terminology, words that we can use to describe what we saw and whether or not we felt that it was effective, entertaining. Over the first few weeks of the class, we talked about things like the structure of the play, elements in that structure that create an exciting plot, the climax of the story. We also looked at different stages and how plays are arranged on those various types of stages. Consider that as you are writing this criticism of the play. Um, how effectively was the play staged on this proscenium stage, right? The effectiveness of the performance. How impactful or uh, um, effective are the lights or were the lights on the show? The music. If you have the opportunity to see a musical, how is the music? Did it enhance the show? Was it successful? Consider those elements. Costuming. Um, just as a side note, I found a review recently from a student several semesters ago who went to see a play that was set in the year 2010, I believe it was. And as a part of a costume, one of the characters wore a football jersey with a player's name on the back. What this student recognized was that that jersey was too modern and that the football player that whose name was on the back of the jersey was still in college during that time. So he wasn't playing on that professional team. These are things that you will notice in productions, things that are overlooked, and certainly something that is going to speak to the effectiveness of the production. In writing, in commenting on the performance, it's important for you to be respectful. You don't want to say anything hurtful about the work. Now, chances are you are going to see a variety of shows. I mean, from different theaters at different levels of experience and expertise. If you go to see a high school production, remember that the students, the performers, are young people. They're in high school. If you go to see a performance at the main campus over at USC, recognize that these actors are also students, but chances are they are studying theater. So your expectation of them is going to be a little bit greater than the work of the high schoolers. If you're fortunate enough to go into the community, to a community theater and see a play there, remember that these people who are performing are amateurs and they bring a certain level of experience with them as they are performing. If you go to a professional show, some of you are fortunate enough to go over and see shows at the Koger Center in Columbia. Realize that these are professional actors directed by a professional director with professional designers, choreographers, musicians, lighting designers, etc. Your expectation of that performance is going to be very high. So consider that as you are writing your review. Also, be willing to experience something that you might not have experienced before on stage. Keep an open mind. I'm not saying that you're going to attend the theater and see something over the top and shocking, and that's not what I mean. But the topic, the subject, the plot of the play might contain some things that you are not familiar with. Um, and it's always best to keep an open mind and be willing to consider different things on stage, characters who go through situations and circumstances that are not necessarily familiar to you. Also, in contemporary theater, language can be sometimes um, shocking to people who are not accustomed to language on stage. Um, my suggestion is to bear with it and see where the show goes, where the story takes you. So overall, just be open to what you might experience on stage. Be supportive of the people who are making this theater for you, who are creating this play for you. And remember that you are audience. Remember that theater cannot happen without you. We cannot make theater without an audience. So it's a very special position that you're going to find yourself in, sitting there watching that play. Remember always that the performers want you to be there. They want you to enjoy what they are presenting to you. Consider all of this. Remember that this is your opinion, your honest, subjective opinion expressed in a paper that should be, at the very minimum, 3 pages, respecting the MLA style rules. Um, and other than that, if this is not clear, if you have any questions, please feel free to email me, reach out to me, and let me know. I want this to be an enjoyable experience for you. This is theater, after all. We are here to entertain you and to inform you and to educate you. But we want the reaction to be a positive one. Email me if you have questions.